Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Who's doing the PowerPoint today?
Hi.
I would like to welcome all of you here to Unity Church of Bernie today. My name is Ann King. We have India back. We're always happy to have India doing our music. Who is our usher?
Javier.
Javier is our usher today. David is doing taking care of the PowerPoint slides, and is also our video guy, I guess. And we do thank Maria and Sherry for taking care of and distributing the prayer requests for our prayer groups and also the silent community where they have prayed over for a month. So, let's see. Anybody here for the first time? You're not, right?
I've been.
You've been here before. Okay. Anybody here? Anybody else I recognize? We are happy to have all of you here today. I'm glad you could make it on this beautiful, cool morning. And if anybody here is not getting notices from us, the notices come out weekly telling you what's coming up on Sunday. They come out once a month with the newsletter telling you what's going on for the month. And then there's special announcements that go out periodically. So if you're not getting those back at that blackboard back there in the back, there is a sign-up sheet where you can put your name and email address, and you can be taken off anytime if you request it. But then once you're on it, you will be getting email notices. You will notice our activities listed in your bulletin. If you have any questions, ask Reverend J or a board member, and they can be happy to tell you more about them. And for announcements, next Sunday is a very important Sunday. It is our third Sunday, which is potluck, so bring a dish to share. But we will be, during potluck, we will be doing our celebration of 30 years. Are we 30 years old in October? No. We're 30 years old in December, but we have too much stuff going on in December and in October to try to do anything at a potluck. But what we'll do is, after church, everybody will go fill up their plate, come back in here, we'll have the tables arranged so you can see the stage here. We have several different speakers that will be talking about the history of the building, the history of our church, how it started and progressed. And there's a lot of other things in there about all the times we've come together for parties, for work days, for parades, for events that we've done, and just a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm going to talk to Brent and Bob about helping a little bit with the presentation. We have speakers lined up. We have, actually, I am a charter member, a core volunteer of the church, and we have two more, Diane Pope and Eddie Vogt, who will also be doing a little 5-minute talk about what they remember when we first started up. I think we had 15 original charter members from way back in 1995. So that's important, and we do reuse the jackets of your program that you picked up. So take the order of service out if you want it. It's got all the events and everything listed on it, but leave the jackets because we reuse them for a month. And now there is a new daily word out for November and December. It's on that back table by the chalkboard. And so those are free. Just pick one up and take it with you. We're always collecting dry goods, toiletries, etc. to pass out to the various Bernie groups to help the people in need. And that container is a big blue container always by the front door every Sunday when you come. Today we're having lunch at Shanghai. So if you want to join and have not done so, make sure and tell me after church. I couldn't get a hold of them to make reservations this morning, so when I'm done here, I'm going to run out and call them real quick and make reservations for the ones we have, but I'll add a couple of extra because all of you were here when I was asking. Let's see. Following live groups every month, we have the Edgar Casey study group on the second and fourth Friday from 10 to noon. We usually have a lot of people. We talk about a lot of interesting topics. We just did color this last Friday, and I think we're going to extend it into auras and stuff next time we meet. And I bought an aura camera if I can figure out how to make it work. We'll take some pictures. So, and we have a men's brunch group the first Saturday of every month from 10 to 11:30, and every single Sunday from 9:30 to 10:30 we meet in the sunshine room over there, and we do a book study. We are now doing Understanding Your Soul, the Channeled Wisdom of Jesus by Christine Bush. It was published by Unity. I've been doing this for I don't know how many years since we started this study. This is one of the best books we have ever done. We read and we have conversation. You just read as you go. We don't have to pre-read anything. But please come. Anybody can come anytime. We've actually finished the main book. We're into questions to Jesus now. His answers all written in very down-to-earth, understandable English of our time. So, let's see. We have a lot of things that happen weekly on Zoom, and they are all listed in the insert on the activities, so you can look those up. But there's Monday at 8 p.m. There's a book study Wednesday at 8 p.m. There's a Course in Miracles group that Reverend Jay leads, and Thursday at 8 p.m. there's a Pathfinder. So you're welcome to join those at any time via Zoom. So that is that. And let's see. Please stand. We're going to have our opening song, which is Confident Living. You'll find a prayer request form for any prayer request, and you can drop them in the prayer box when it is brought up to the front in a little bit. It's also in the back every morning when you come in. Every Sunday morning you can always put it in there. Or if you don't do either one of those, you can put it in the prayer box after church. Our prayer team prays over them for a week. They're sent to Silent Unity where they are prayed for over a month. Prayed over for a month. Okay. And now Ann Gulley going to have the daily word.
As we quietly and gently prepare for the reading of the daily word, remember that we're in spirit with millions of daily word readers and churches throughout the world. The Christ candle is lit as a reminder of the Spirit of God within all of us, which we call the Christ within. The word for the day is worthy. The affirmation is all people are worthy as children of God. It can be easy to look at others and see differences, the things that tend to keep us separate. It may even make judgments about their worthiness, but each person is so much more than their appearances, habits, and histories. Today, I commit to treating others as I would want them to treat me, as divine beings they are. I will look beyond appearances, put aside any judgments, and open my heart to others. I will treat all others as individuations of the divine and beloved members of the human family. As I do this, I feel differences and separations fall away. I behold our similarities and feel a new kind of kinship, one born of respect and of acceptance. All people are one with God, and each is worthy of inclusion and belonging. And this comes from Romans 8:16. It is that very Spirit bearing witness with our spirit that we are children of God. The affirmation, if you want to read it with me, all people
are worthy as children of God.
My name is Gulley, and I thank you for joining us in worship today.
Thank you.
It's not a short one.
Thank you, Anne. And now, if you will all stand, we are going to have our call to faith, and we're going to say that together. I give myself permission to lovingly care for myself.
I release any condemnation I may have of myself or of others, and remain in peace moment. I walk forward confidently towards new life that is mine now, and so it is.
Remain standing for our next song. Work wonders from within.
Wonders from within, that's where to look within. There's no use looking somewhere else for power to be to win. Wonders from within, be sure to look within. Just take your mind from outer fears, don't think it's too late to begin. And you and me, there's power to be in you and me. There's power that will set us free. Of course it's up to me. Of course it's up to me. So set my mind to use my power if wonders I want to see.
Thank you. And now we will say our mission statement together.
Unity of burning is a vibrant, loving, spiritual community, providing a sacred space for personal growth. We honor and celebrate the Christ within all people.
Thank you. Please be seated. And I'm now going to turn this over to Reverend Javier for the remainder of the service.
Thank you. Good morning. It's wonderful to be with you all as usual. This is a time in our service where we bring forth what's in our hearts to pray about. And sometimes it's difficult because we don't want to let them go, or we think that we have the understanding. We just work harder, we just try more. But this is time to lovingly let go and release. As Javier brings forth the prayer box, it's back there. There is a place for you to write in your bulletin, a small slip of paper, if you'd like to write your prayer request. It's going to take some time for you to be able to do that. Otherwise, we know that when we join in united prayer, it's powerful. I ask you to take a few moments to relax, release, and let go as we enter this time of prayer. Yeah. Oh, precious presence, we release everything that is unlike what we wish to experience. We know you are the author, finisher, and protector of our faith. You walk with us gently and you guide us. We seek to know more of your will, which is good, which is wonderful, which is love. We release anything in ourselves unlike that we're upholding for others and ourselves. We know you guide, and we're receptive to that guidance. Your wisdom, and we're receptive to that wisdom. Your light, and we know we are light. We join in a oneness with you right now, knowing that nothing can stand against a heart that's open and ready and receptive. Today there are people who are experiencing the gamut of human emotion, from upset to joy. We know you are with them in every permutation of this life. The answer is here, now. We affirm that it's being given and that people are awakening to their true nature. The love that is in this building and represented by each of these individuals is now placed into the universe, and it resonates and is consonant with everybody else. We're thinking the same thoughts. We are part of worldwide love. Therefore, we are a part of you. Thank you, dear presence, and so it is. Amen.
To go with today's message, I brought Karen Drucker's song about how we are expressing great love by being the heart, hands, and voice of spirit on earth. And if you catch on, you may know this song. You can sing along. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth. And who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we
Now is the time that we enter into meditation as a united body right here. But each of us have concerns and things that we need to feel are straightened out in us, are loved into either existence or non-existence. And I ask each one of you right now to take a deep breath, aware of your presence, aware of your feet on the floor, your palms in your lap, feeling relaxed and ready. And in this upcoming moment or two of silence, we allow the Spirit to do its work and remember who we are. as we gently bring our attention back to the present, we're aware of the energy flowing through us that is love, unconditional. It's who we really are, because we've contacted Spirit, the light and life of us. We affirm that we are released from all things that bind us. We're renewed, and we are refreshed, calm and confident to go out and do a wonderful work. We give thanks for this time, and so it is. Thank you, Eddie. Always good when you're here. Welcome. A taxi driver and a minister died and went to heaven, and both were standing at the pearly gates. And St. Peter was there, and he ushered the taxi driver right on in. And he told the very devout minister, "You're going to have to hang around here a while." And the minister said, "But I did so much speaking, and I was so devout, and I was very holy." And St. Peter said, "Well, that may be so, but when you spoke, people slept, and when he drove, people prayed." And I hope nobody sleeps this morning. But like there is gradations of love, like we're going to get in some other place, and there's going to be levels of love. We do that down here. We say, if you're good enough, or you do things well enough, or you agree with me, I can give you love. And that's conditioned. And to me, that's not true love. But I get a little ahead of myself, because I'd like to go back to what was a message a year ago when I talked about the greatest love of all, and I talked about one beautiful song that Whitney Houston sang in the early 90s. And she properly said, the greatest love of all is learning to love yourself. And she said, talked about children and how they grow into adulthood. And if we can only teach them to love themselves, they'll love others. And that's a wonderful sentiment, but I wonder how many times we really, in this ministry, not just mine, but anybody, breaks that down into component parts, into what it means. One of the things that I think is a fast track to get where I'm talking about today is to ask yourself right now, where you are, who am I without this thought I'm thinking? Think about the fact that you are pure love and awareness masquerading in human form right here, right now. Now, masquerading, and that's a term that can, sounds kind of negative, but think about it. You are surrounded by flesh, blood, and bones. If I asked you where your soul is, you might point here, some chakra or something. The truth of the matter is you, the essential you, are here experiencing a life in human form. And in this form, we have to characterize everything that happens to us. No wonder we're upset. No wonder we're jumpy. No wonder, think about this, 17 million prescriptions were written last year for benzodiazepine tranquilizers, such as Valium and so forth. Now, I'm not against medication when it's needed. But I also think that we sometimes go and pop a pill before we even know what we're upset about. We just want it to go away. We don't want to think about the lesson that's inherent in what's upsetting me. And what is upsetting me generally is an opinion that I have about something, someone, or something. The ego has a way of saying it's my way or the highway. The awareness that we just visited in meditation is the one that knows. It's the secret that sits in the center and knows while men and women gather in a circle and suppose. Because all of us want to be right. We want to say, my way is right, I got it, and I'm sure. And even in New Thought circles that happens, and what happens is it closes us off to new information. And one of the things that I think is most important about this life that we lead is that we be open to what is happening out there while knowing that I am greater than anything that is happening out there. Remember in the scripture, greater is he that is within you than he that is within the world. I take that very literally. And I know I can absolutely guarantee myself, because I'm the first one I have to convince, and it's very easy for me to believe this. I know that there are a myriad of things out there that I can't control. But I have complete, unchallengeable, unquestionable control over one thing, and that's how I'm going to view those things. And am I going to do it through the prism of love or fear? Am I going to say, well, love is too impersonal. I need to add my opinion. I need to bring myself into this love. Well, it depends. Are you bringing a conditioned self that has learned all kinds of up, down, in, out, duality, and you're trying to mix it with the pure light of love that is always present in you? That's not going to work very well. When you could step back and say, I am awareness, and I observe, and I allow life to unfold perfectly, and treat each thing, especially setbacks and what we call negativities, as opportunities to shine, to grow, to learn, most of all, to give love in more abundance. What can you think of right now in any place that love is not the answer to? Sometimes love looks like carrying some soup over to a sick neighbor. It looks like inviting 3 extra cats into my house. Yeah, but it does. That makes 5 now. Sometimes it looks like forgiving the neighbor up the street for playing basketball at midnight. That's when you like to do it. It's hard when you go to sleep and you do it like this because you keep the time to it. People do things that upset us, not necessarily to upset us. Oh, I know there are some things that people do on purpose, and there's fights and feuds, but generally we take personally what is really impersonal. Well, if it is impersonal, if you look on the bright side, if you look at life as something that you've come to understand and forgive and release, if you look at it that way, you're going to have more peace of mind. You can't take any money and go buy a package of peace of mind. Now, I've said you can get money. Money doesn't buy happiness, and as I've said, it sure calms the nerves. But it's not going to give you the ultimate happiness. How do I know this? Well, in my own neighborhood, there was a fellow. He had everything. I was in his home. He had the inset lights. In the TV was built in the wall. He had 2 bars, 7 bathrooms, 3 bedrooms. He was a developer, a contractor. I enjoyed getting together and talking with him about real estate. He didn't want to talk about spirit, things that had to do with personal growth, spiritualism, all that, because he wasn't a believer. He had a breakdown. And I visited him at the pavilion where he was. And I said, I'm sorry you're going through this. How can I help? And I said, did you have any idea that this was coming? Did you feel upset? You know, my job is counseling and pastoring and ministry. I would have done anything to help you. He said, the only thing that I felt amidst all those things that I had was I would go to sleep at night and see the automatic security light blinking red. And he said, blink over and over again. He said, that stayed on my mind every night when I went to sleep. He said, and I felt it was blinking my doom. And I said, why? He said, because I'm mortgaged to the hill. He said, I thought of killing myself. How things can become to own us because we think we're going to get something out of that. You know what that man did? He got well. Yes, he used some medication. Yes, he used some therapy. He did a number of things. He's in a smaller condo right now. And he's working in an animal rescue part of life. You know, part of what we're going through and seeing animals out on the street, feral cats, all like this, because people want give the attention that I wish they would to their animals, that they give to their garage sales and other things. He's doing what he was meant to do. And I told you last week, I walked away from a very lucrative position because I wasn't happy. Happiness is it. If it wasn't that I learned from New Thought, I would have learned it from my dad. How else can you, let me ask you this, with an 80-year-old man, how else can you know what happiness is until you walk in on him with a jar of Cheese Whiz and a cracker, a cigarette going, a Diet Coke open, and the New York Times in front of him, and I say, Dad, you're a mess, it's 10:30 in the morning. He said, I'm as happy as I be, leave me alone, I'm retired. And I go, well, that's true. You don't have to get out of his pajamas. You do whatever you want. I came in with expectations. I said, Dad, don't you want to? No, I don't want to. And so many times we get in trouble because we look at people and we think our precious darling opinions are what's so good for them. When we haven't straightened out what really is important to ourselves. In other words, we want to run, fix everything. And we don't even necessarily know what the problem is or if there's a problem. But it is that tiny voice or that large voice in our head that tells us over and over again, you need to divest yourself of your wisdom for the world. You know that's egoic. Sometimes people need our help. Sometimes they ask a question. Sometimes we are the ones that can give the answers. But do you know most times what we can do is hold them in light, love them, and leave them alone. In marriage, I've seen this more times than I care to mention. They don't take a wife or a husband, they take a hostage. The people want them to do exactly what we want them, or I want them to do. How utterly boring. The need to control. I remember, and I've been married twice, and both marriages I did this, I would tell them, whatever your interest is, go. There are a lot of men out there that are very handsome. I'm no Clark Gable, but I'm no Barney Rubble. And I know the same, you feel the same way. There are going to be people that are going to flirt with you, do this and do that, but go on, do, and then come back and tell me about it. We'll have a blast. And we did. Freedom looks good, it feels good, and most of all, it's our native state. And the greatest love of all is the love of your own internal freedom to choose your way. Sometimes that looks like doing things physically, and sometimes it means releasing someone to their higher good, to the next phase of their life. And when you do that, I highly recommend releasing the story you've told yourself about them, if it's negative. Don't claim the idea of the broken one. You were never broken for a moment. You had a broken opinion of yourself. The awareness that is behind all that you go through is perfect, constant, unchanging, unchallenging. Don't you see that's why some of our talented people can channel so well? They have a direct line to spirit because they've been able to divorce and divest themselves from that pounding, persistent voice that says, I know best. The greatest love that you can give someone and yourself is love without condition. And knowing that the impersonal force that is this love can be used in a myriad of ways. Don't use it to trick. Don't use it to control. Don't use it to get something. Use it to give something. As you give, you will receive. Do we believe that's only about money? Think about that. Who you are, who you really are, shorn of all the personal opinions, is necessary in this world or you wouldn't be here. There's something about you and the gift that you have to give that one or a group of somebody's needs. Have you sold yourself short? Have you accepted the world's opinion that you're just a number? I'm my Social Security number. I'm my job. I'm my fill in the blank. How about I am the light and love of God, bigger than anything that can happen to me? Because you are. And I'll tell you something, you don't need to count your mistakes against you. You need to release them and learn from them. I'm going to ask you a question this morning. I would like to hear an answer back. How many times do a speaker say they want to hear somebody speak while they're speaking? Because I'm assured that this is true. If anybody out there can tell me a time that Jesus Christ, in his earthly mission, upon healing anybody, asked for a catalog of their sins before he healed them, I'd like to know. Does anybody know? No, because it didn't happen. He walked up to them, beheld the perfection in them, beyond their story, beyond everything they thought they had done wrong, beyond everything they thought defined them. And he said these beautiful words, rise and be healed. We're being called on today to rise and be healed. We may not have the physical presence of Jesus Christ, but boy, do we have the transcendent presence, and that was the most important. How do I know? Because he resurrected out of that body, and that spiritual body, that body electric, as Walt Whitman talks about, ascended and blessed and shook the mighty world. And we're still talking about him 2,000 years later. The greatest love of all is the one that you can wrap your arms around yourself, perhaps figuratively. Sometimes it helps to give yourself a hug. I've done it too. And to say, I am a divine being on purpose. Today is a new day. Every morning is a new life. I'm not going to let the filter of my perceptions mess things up anymore. I'm going to stand up. If I can't stand up, I'm going to sit down. If I'm sitting, can't sit down, I'm lying down, I'm going to make a decision to get up on the inside. And I'm going to say, today is a new day, blessed with the perfection of me being able to write or paint on the canvas of this day. And come to the end of it and say, I think I did pretty well, or I think I can learn from this, whatever it may be. What is a life but a succession of days, just like I described? We want to take such a long view. We want to say, I want to be able to look back and say I was a success. I want to look back and say I made a lot of money. I want to look back and have a lot of people memorialize me and remember me. How about looking back and saying I was happy and I helped make other people happy? I was part of the solution. I wasn't part of the problem. When I married, I didn't take a hostage. I set her free, or I set him free. They came back. At least they came back with stories to tell about how life was fun and good, and we could share and talk. That's learning. That's being marriaging instead of marriage. Just marriage. Now, I don't mean just marriage as if it's nothing, but I mean the ability to grow, as Khalil Gibran talked about. Grow, but not in each other's shadow. You're attached at the roots, at the base, but you stand apart so that you can receive your own inspirations, your own growth. And you know what? Anybody that I have dated, anybody that was, involved with me, always said about me, you may have been a little out of touch sometimes, I couldn't get hold of you, but you always let me be myself. Boy, I liked him that. I really did. I would rather hear that any other mistake than that I had to hold on to somebody because I was scared to death they might get out of line. Out of line? Hell, out of line is what people do that do wonderful things. Did Martin Luther King not get out of line? Did Bobby Kennedy not get out of line? Did Abraham Lincoln not get out of line? Look at the people who made the differences in the world. They haven't colored inside the lines all the time. They walk into very lonely places where they listen to the goddesses within themselves, whether they called it that or not. They listened to it and they followed it. No matter what anybody else thought. Now you see the greatest love of all sometimes may be lonely. It may look like walking away from something that everybody says you need to be staying right where you are. Don't do that. You are upsetting the apple cart. Sometimes apple carts need to be turned over. Sometimes those apples at the bottom are rotten. Sometimes the opinions that we hold about ourselves and our abilities are so skewed. I invite you this morning to take a different view of who you are. What am I? Who am I without this thought? Think about that this week. At some point, who am I without this thought, without this judgment, and without this memory? We feel so alone and naked in this thing called life. But there's a presence that's within you, that's powerful, that loves you, that knows who you really are. And it says, I'm here, and I'm with you, and I'm for you. Can you take the things that light you up, the things that you love? Are you able to make a life out of those? For me, it's love of animals, sports, most of all, love of people. All the things that kind of light me up and make me feel alive, I kind of conglomerate, and it feels good. Because I haven't disowned any part of myself. And even the negative parts, I recognize that I know you're there. And I'll listen to you next week. Because everybody has those parts. We get up here a new thought and we say we're perfect, unblemished, perfect child of a wonderful God. But part of that knows what we judge, or what we condemn, or what we've done, and it speaks over and over again. Do you know everything that's happened had to happen? And the evidence is, it did. Your arguments with reality will always fail if you don't say, this is unfolding perfectly. I may not understand the why. I may grieve it. I may hate it. I may not want to think about it for another moment. But in there somewhere is a blessing. Something is going to come from this that helps me and others grow. And you can take that from the worst thing you've ever experienced to somebody who cut you off in traffic yesterday. Be an open learner about life. We don't know everything that is here in front of us. We don't know the reasons, the whys, the wherefores, why people act the way they do. Why, my friend, broke down having everything. Well, he had a high mortgage. I mean, that was one of them. But we don't know all the things, and judgment didn't help. You know what helped? Was him getting into the love that he was and doing a job that he wanted to do for displaced animals. Ask yourself today, what's the most loving, the greatest loving thing you can do for yourself? And do it. Is there something that you've always wanted to do and you think it impractical? I'm telling you, those things are messages from on high. They're telling you who you really are. Alan Watts said it well. If you do what you love, the money will follow. You'll find a way. There's somebody willing to pay for almost anything that you can do and have. Would you rather trade your services in getting a huge amount of money and being unhappy, or get a smaller amount and saying, I can't wait to wake up every day and go do what I meant to do? The world may not think there's anything that special, but you know what it is. It means something to you. I'm telling you, my life really didn't begin until I got into ministry and public speaking. It really didn't. I had done all kinds of things in business. But when it came to teaching these principles and learning them, because as I teach, I learn as well, that's when things lit up for me. It hadn't always been easy. Hasn't always been a walk in the park, but by everything that's holy, it's been worth it. I wish for you this morning that you can look at your life and say, you know, it was worth it. The tassel that hangs from your graduation cap was worth the hassle. The tassel that you get from life is worth whatever you have to do to make it happen. Happy people don't hurt other people. That's one thing my dad taught me. I miss him for a lot of reasons. He just passed away. The anniversary was October 3rd, 6 years. You know, it feels like it's been 6 minutes. I almost could see him coming around that door saying, hey, what's going on? You know, we'd sit down and talk for hours. And I miss it. But you know what? I still talk to him. And I tell you what, I still get those inspirations. I can hear them. I can almost hear the jar of the top of that cheese whiz closing. Oh, right there. That's the beauty of memory. Sometimes the curse of memory is the fact that you don't know how to handle those memories. Love and do as you please. I didn't say that. The Catholic saint said it. If you're loving, if you're really letting the love out and you're caring about yourself and others, you're not going to hurt anybody else. And when you can do that, you can say, I understand what the greatest love of all is. I embody it, I am it, I give it, I release it, I live it, and more than that, I lay down at night to sweet dreams because I know I am it. And when you can say that, you've gotten on top of this thing called life. I wish for every one of you this morning the greatest love of all. Wherever that leads you, wherever it takes you, remember, you don't walk there alone. And you're in the company of a lot of people who've done the same things and say they wouldn't have had it any other way. God bless each and every one of you this week. Have a wonderful week. Now comes the time that we're privileged to give back a little bit of what we have received. You know that here we come up on our 30th anniversary. Think about it, 30 years. And I wonder if that group of folks in 1995, when the internet, you remember, was making that sound, you had to dial in, it was called trumpet windsock and Eudora light. And you had to tell somebody, get off the phone, I'm going to get on the internet and make all that hardware handshaking compression. It was just a mess. Dial up. Think about it. Did those folks back in 95 think that this church would be literally reaching around the world in its viewership and that we'd be broadcasting a Sunday service? Nobody knows enough to be a pessimist. Nobody. I hope you know that when you give money to this ministry, you're helping us grow and expand what those wonderful, thoughtful people in 1995 got together to think about. I ask you to give the best gift of which you're able this morning as Javier comes forward and takes the offering. God bless you.
Here what was.
Freely, freely I have received, freely, freely I give. Thy love through me blesses all that I am, all that I give and receive. Freely, freely I have received, freely, freely I give. Divine love through me blesses all that I am, all that I give and receive, all that I give and receive.
Thank you, sir. Together, let's repeat our prayer for blessing and increase. Divine love
Through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I send it forth with my blessings and my love.
Thank you.
Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
Together we stand and join hands as we feel comfortable in doing so.